Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good morning and welcome to my podcast, Fight CPS with Bob Pace, and to hang on to your children. Now, this is an early morning podcast. Normally, I'm on typically at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then I come on again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's twice a day, 14 shows a week, Saturday through Sunday. You found me on Facebook, Fighting CPS, and I'm so glad that you've joined me in this room. This is an international podcast, meaning that anywhere you have internet, this is open to everybody who has a CPS case or someone that has questions about CPS or someone that has problems with CPS. I like to contact you before you get involved with CPS because CPS has become a very rogue kind of agency. There's a lot of things working against CPS, are working against you as parents. Now, you just heard from my attorney, Vincent W. Davis. He is a dependency juvenile family lawyer, well experienced in the child protection system. CPS is what I call it, the child protection system. And in every state, there is this system to protect your kids in each county. The states and then the counties are divided up. And so the counties handle the protection of our children from neglect and abuse. Neglect and abuse. Now, Mr. Davis has worked hard and given a lot of his time to help families stay together, help families get their children back, or help families hang on to their children. And he is also a trial attorney. And he's based out of Arcadia, California. But he has cases in LA County and Orange County and Riverside County and San Bernardino County. Plus, he has cases up in Northern California, Merced County, and so forth. He has a case in Oklahoma. So he wants to help you all out there. He is not only that, he has also sued CPS. When your case is closed, you can sue CPS for violations of your Constitution or your civil rights that were violated. And welcome, Margaret King. I'm so glad to have you come here. And Margaret now is calling from Merced County. I just talked about it. It's interesting, Margaret. I just said Merced County, so welcome. Anyway, we have our first listener here who texted a message, and that is great. That is great. And since we're already starting to get text messages in there, that's how you do a text message there. Now it is early because Vincent has his show coming up, his podcast at 9:30 this morning, and he'll be on for an hour, and he has some insights that will help you with your CPS case. So my show will end at 9 o'clock this morning, and then Vincent will come on a half an hour later, and you can plan to hear him. It'll repeat again at the end of my podcast. As you heard in the beginning, he talked about his podcast today. It'll repeat at the end of my podcast. So I really want to thank you all for taking the time out of your hectic day and dealing with this awful thing called the child protection system. As I told you, they're supposed to protect their children from neglect and abuse. They're also supposed to help out families in need. It's mandated by Congress for the branch of social services to take care of this. They're supposed to provide you food and shelter and clothing and transportation. Also supposed to provide you education for your kids and education for yourself, like parenting classes and those kinds of things. Medical assistance. If you need medical, your children need medical. And lastly, they're going to help you find a job. That's the whole purpose of social services. It takes care of protecting our children from neglect and abuse. Furthermore, if the child protection system has to break up the family because the children are in extreme danger, they'll do so with in mind that they will do family reunification. It's so important because studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents, and they'll put together all these programs and classes and everything to help you if you have some difficulties in your family. The only trouble is they now take away children no matter what. My kids were not in danger when they stole or trafficked my children into foster care. It was completely all about money, the bonuses, the incentives. It's $1 trillion business is what the child protection system is. $1 trillion business. And I want to share what I have known for 15 years and working with Mr. Davis. I'm not an attorney. I'm a family man. I am, a father of 8 children. Excuse me, 6 children. I'm almost gaining one there. 6 children, and me and my wife, and I have 42 years of marriage. So we're a family of 8, but sadly now we're a family of 4. It seems that CPS has hurt the rest of my family. When they first came to me in 2010 and started harassing me by saying things that weren't true, and I had to constantly for 5 years fight them. What had happened is that, unfortunately, my family, my wife's parents and her sisters and her brother, were constantly calling in from Ohio to California and saying we weren't taking care of our kids and everything. They do it once a week. One of them would take turn and so forth. And it was hard because in 2010, I'd lost my job through no fault of my own. I was 60 years old. I'd worked for 45 years. I had a beautiful home and a life, and I needed help. Instead, I had to fight for 5 years with these ridiculous calls in by my in-laws that weren't true. It's really weird. They never came to a wedding 32 years ago. They weren't very supportive of our family. We'd encourage our kids to see their grandparents, but they'd work behind the scenes, try to manipulate them, and always try to take our kids. Sad about families, because families are supposed to be supportive of each other. I want to welcome Desiree Amber Fox. And Desiree, I have no idea where you're from, but if you could tell me, your city or your county and your state, if you're from the United States, and if you're from another country, please give me your province or your country name. As I said, I'm open to uh, uh, everybody. Now, Desiree wanted to share they have no legitimate reason to take my children. I agree, that happened to me. Um, Also, they lied to my oldest, telling him that they gave me a ultimatum, which they never did. Yes, I know, Desiree. They do lie. They retaliate. They are liars. They are very beautiful. I mean, they're terrible liars. Anyway, they do lie, and they do take children that are unnecessary. You see, when the child protection system gets a phone call from a layperson or a professional, two kinds of individuals. The professionals are properly trained and gone to school, and most of the time they're reporting a true case of of neglect or abuse. But the lay people use it to their advantage. Relatives and friends, your neighbors, they may not like the way your yard is growing on your yard. Um, Vice versa, or the dog is barking. So they're going to call in and make a story that their children are running wild with no supervision. Only trouble is, a lot of times CPS investigate those parents and find out they don't have children. It's a false report. Or if they do have children, they automatically assume they're guilty. You see, in CPS, you're guilty till you're proven innocent. No other court of law is like that. When you commit a crime, you're innocent till you're proven guilty. But in child protection system, you're guilty. So that's where it really hurts. Plus, they have a big um, uh, goal with his money part of thing. Now, Desiree says every other time CPS was called on, we proved them wrong. I agree, Desiree. I like to know where you're from. I know that we have Margaret from Merced County in California. Now, Margaret says, um, okay, I'm sorry, I had Margaret here. Margaret, last night, we had Letitia that was on last night who lost her 8 month old baby in the hands of CPS. I'll be on your evening podcast. She just texted me to let me know. I'm so glad that she'll be on there. It was heart wrenching last night to hear from Letitia described how CPS did not protect her child. And that's the sad part. They don't do their job. They don't do their job. They don't do their job. Now, life with Kiki. I'm in Lakewood, Washington. Welcome. And your name is Shanae. Shanae. And the CPS case is against my husband, who's not in the home. They called me Friday asking me to do volunteer services. I declined. They said I'm not a protective parent. Well, apparently your husband did something. I don't know what it is. And because you're the mother, you didn't protect your children from your husband. I don't know what he did, but it's either neglect or abuse. If you could tell me more, that would be great. That would be great. Margaret further says, Letitia, the young mother that had lost her 8-month-old in the hands of CPS, will be on your podcast this morning. Yes. I don't know if I read that repeated or something there. So we have Shannon from Lakewood, Washington, Margaret from Merced County. And we have Shannon again, who said that CPS worker said, I told her I didn't believe my daughter. The case is against my husband, not me, but they removed my kids. Well, they say you probably didn't protect your kids from whatever your husband's doing. If you could sort of elaborate and tell me what your husband is being accused of, that would help me, Shannon. My own sister was a reporting party. I'm still in disbelief. I had no idea. Yeah, Margaret, you're so true, Margaret, with the way that our system is. People can call in and say anything, and right away, the Child Protection Agency thinks you're guilty and does everything they do to get you in there because they want to make money off your child. That's their goal. That's their goal. That's their goal there. Now, Desiree Amber Fox, I still don't know where you're from, but we appreciate if you could share that with us. Now, CPS, when they report it, they have 24 hours to investigate it. And they'll send out a social worker who will try to get in your home, who will also try to take your children. I have a rule number 3. Do not talk to social workers or police. Do not let them in your home. Keep the door locked and shut because that's your castle. There's only 3 ways they can get in your home. 1, you give them permission. 2, your children are in imminent danger because of arguing taking place and the child is being harmed. They can break into your home. And the 3rd way is they have to have a warrant. It's a legal document on paper signed by a judge with a wet signature and a stamp over the signature, which raises it so it's very legit. It's got to tell you the date, who they're being accused of, who the children are, what the accusations are, and then where it's located, and then what they can do. What they can do. I'll give a description of what they can do, and on a date and a time. Now, a lot of social workers will use old warrants or fake warrants. So they say they have a warrant. If you're outside and you meet them, you could ask to see the warrant. If they don't have a warrant, then tell them you need to bring your attorney to a meeting and can meet either at Starbucks or McDonald's, a public place so you can record them. A public place so you can record them. Yeah, family members are notorious to get retaliation. They want to alienate your children from you, the parents, and the child, so family members can adopt them or take them or whatever it is. It's sad how manipulative. And if you don't know the CPS, and most of us don't, I didn't know how corrupt and how bad they are and how it's all about money. It's $1 trillion business. Trillions of dollars business is what they do. It's trillions of dollars of business. Now, Shannon says it was allegations my 10-year-old said he wrote her a inappropriate note that I called CPS to put me in the FAR program. I have no idea what the FAR program. Then it went to investigation. They told me they couldn't be unsupervised. Well, they say that you must have done something like some physical harm or something that they have to have a supervised visits. You know, when they do take your children through mistakes because we give them readily, they automatically want supervised visits. They want to have money made and money spent, and they want to put you in foster care. Now, Margaret further says, yeah, she made false allegations just to be able to kidnap my youngest daughter's newborn. I'm sad to say family members are like that. Now, Shannon says he came to my new place to put my kids' beds together. They weren't here, but they were when he put up the living room table together, but I was present. I assumed that the man you're with is either you're separated or divorced from them. Shanae, that's what I assume. Now, Shanae further says, the social worker lied and said I told her I didn't believe the allegations my daughter said. Then said someone told her that I was waiting until the case was closed for him to move back into the home. Well, again, I don't know what your husband was accused of, but your failure to protect has something to do with your husband did something awful, wrong, and bad. Now, Margaret from California says, I believe not only CPS is in it for the money, but also the predators that make these false accusations. There's a reason behind their madness. Yes, I agree with you. My 3 children, 3 of my 6, were taken and are in school. There's no in danger. They weren't in danger. It's after 5 years. Yeah, hello there, Cruel. I want to say your name is Fred, but I'm not sure if that's your right name. If you give me your name again, Cruel, that'd be great. I saw you at the tail end of my show. My show was over, and I wasn't able to get back to you, but thank you for coming in this morning. Now, Cruel says, and I forgot where you're from, Cruel. When the social worker made contact with me within 24 hours of my daughter being born, but she did not arrive with an enforcement order to conduct a secondary urinalysis to adhere with a chain of command. Well, first of all, that's medical trafficking. In my rule number 3, I talk about medical trafficking. And that's where they come and take your child away because you may be test positive. They can't do that. They have to have a warrant, first of all. And you're entitled to have that baby and bond with that baby. Child Protection Agency cannot take care of a 1 week old baby. They're just not set up for that. In fact, yesterday a woman came on and the child protection system let a child in her custody be murdered. And he was only 8 months old. And he was found cold to touch in a ball pit. A ball pit is an area where they put those colorful styrofoam balls and kids like to play in them. But 8 months is way too young. And they said that the child couldn't walk. The child could not walk and had all kinds of abusive marks over them. Shannon says, my kids are with me. They have Native American ancestry, and they haven't even contacted my tribe. Yeah, that's a thing called the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978, which basically says that CPS must find out if the children or Indian children are registered with one of the 548 federal recognized tribes or could be registered. Because if they is true that they are Native American Indian or part Native American Indian, then they're supposed to turn over the children to the reservation, who in turn will put them with a family, an Indian tribe family, for family reunification. Good morning, Faye. Bright and early. I'm so glad you're here. Faye is from Richmond, Kentucky. We have a big room in here. We have lots of people from different parts of the country today. So I'm glad that you're here, Faye, from Richmond, Kentucky. Life with that's Shannon. Good morning, Shannon. He was accused of sexual exploration. My daughter said he wrote her a note that said he'll let her on Roblox and YouTube if you allow him to see her naked. Love you, son. You have a good day. That is terrible because there's so many pedophiles on social media, and Roblox is a kid's game, and YouTube is supposed to be, restrictive of those kinds of behaviors. So that's making more sense because they're blaming you as a mother. You're not protecting your kids from being on that show. Shannon says we are separated, and that soon, and then soon divorce. Yes. Well, if your husband allows them, then he's fault, but your fault too, because you should have done something with that. You should have done something with that. That's sad how it works, Shannon. He moved to a new state last week. Well, that's good, but I hope he's supporting you financially. You got it important, and he needs to help you out financially. He's the father of those children, and financially, and CPS is going to try to be after them. So I don't know if he has things go there. So Felicia, that's what it is. I'm sorry, Felicia. Yeah, you're 29 years old. I remember that part. And Ventura County. Thank you, Felicia. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to answer you yesterday when you came on late in the day, but I'm glad you came on this morning, Felicia, from Ventura, California. And Felicia further says, my last results say presumption positive, no lie detector. Were you the one that had 4 tests and they're forcing you to take a 5th test? Felicia, I can't remember. There was one mother that had taken 4 tests, but they needed, the judge wanted a 5th test because it was longer or something. Are you that mother there, Felicia? I'm trying to understand that. Shannon says, I don't allow them on Roblox or YouTube. I took it off their iPad. Yes. Roblox, and YouTube should be, I'm sad to say, it should be for people that are 18 or older. And as parents, that's good that you control what your kids watch and see and do. Shannon, that is so good. And you have no history of mental illness issues or drug issues. But the Child Protection Agency will try, the Child Protection System will try to say you do. They'll try to say that you do. That's one of their ploys they do. Yeah, even they're going to treat you, because once they got your hooks into you, they're making their money. They're making their money, Shannon. They don't even have their iPads anymore. Okay, well, first of all, electronic devices, should be a sense of reward. I think iPads and computers and phones should be given later in life. You see, we don't have life skills being taught anymore. And life skills are things about how to, do simple things, operate a computer, how to date, how to marry, how to fight CPS, if early children should worry about bullying and being picked upon and stuff. Life skills should be taught from the time they're in preppy K, preschool, preppy K, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, college, and high school. Don't forget high school. And they should be things about pregnancy and about sex and the do's and don'ts about dating. And in college, it's all about marriage. Usually, marriages you can talk about in high school, dating in high school, getting pregnant in high school. They used to be able to have to carry a pillow around. Boys, too, to see what it feels like being pregnant. And so these life skills should be done all the time. Now, Margaret King from Merced, California. I told my eldest daughter she needed to get my grandson off of social media. The older children teach younger children as a result. My granddaughter started having nightmares. Oh, geez, that sounds terrible there. Besides texting a message to me, you can also schedule as a guest. That's why I'm putting it up there. Schedule as a guest. Now, Shannon says, I'm not listed on the case, only my husband, they said, so why should I agree to volunteer services? So is your name listed on the case? If it isn't, why can't you visit your children? You told me earlier that you were being charged with neglect because you allow them to go to those social sites. Margaret says the nightmares did stop, but it should never have happened. Kids definitely need to be monitored of what it is they're watching. I agree. You need to take away the phone. Now, I don't know why it's important for a phone in the hands of young children in elementary school. Middle school, I did it as reward for graduating middle school with all A's. I gave my son their phones. But they get phones earlier. My daughter, who was in middle school, and she wasn't in the 8th grade. She was in the 7th grade when she was taken. And they bought her a phone. They gave her a phone, the CPS did. That's crazy. Now, Felicia's, okay, good, Felicia. I want to make sure I get all the comments. I'm glad you are here, Felicia. I want to help you. Shannon says, my kids are with them, not removed from my care. Are with you. Oh, okay, so you do have your children. I thought they were taken away from you because you weren't protecting them. We have a new person here. I don't think I've ever seen this person, and it's a BS person. Well, hopefully you have a name and I can know where you're from. This person said, let's talk about the corruption within the juvenile court system. Hearing officers that violate parental and child rights. The court appointed attorneys that don't represent their clients seriously. Yes, I agree with you. If you could tell me your first name, it'd be great. And also where you're from, your city or your county. Yes, the courtrooms are terrible. Mine was terrible. I could not be in court. I had to uh, sit on the hallway. And I had a court appointed attorney that is useless. My court appointed attorney just did nothing. They had a caseload of 30 more clients. They had no time to fight my case. They wouldn't see me outside of the courtroom. That's where they saw me. And it's for a brief 1 or 2 minutes. You can't fight a case with 1 or 2 minutes with a social worker. And if you open up to them, they're going to share your story with the social workers. They're cahoots with the courts. They're cahoots with the courts, as BS was saying. The courts are bad. The judges, they all play golf together. They go out to lunch together. It is very corrupt, the courts are. Now, you live on the east side. Well, can you be a little bit more specific of what city or county the east side of in the state? Now, I don't know who Dr. Jensen is, who's known for making false reports to CPS. That must be a layperson, I guess, or the east side. I don't know if that's the east side of New York or what. And I like to have a name, a first name I could address you, BS. Now, Margaret says my grandson would watch scary clowns on TikTok. Yep, TikTok is right now on the edge of being taken down. It's really borderline of what they do on TikTok. Felicia says, no, that wasn't me. They first tested obtaining during my delivery at the hospital. Had a result, presumption positive. No level detected. I no prior criminal record, no document, no drug use or abuse. Well, you should have told the doctor or the nurse to get out of your delivery room. And if you're home with a child, don't answer the door. Don't talk to them. They need a court warrant. Don't give up your children. Don't give them permission. That's a no-no. You don't have to. They need a warrant to take your child. They need a warrant. Now, life with Shannon, they said they get concerns of me protecting my children because of your husband coming to my home with my daughter present, that they worried me. They wanted me to do the volunteer services that I declined. Well, first of all, if you've been charged with protection or decline, that's part of the plan. And it's best to do them because it sounds like you don't have an attorney that you can fight them. So sometimes it's best to do the parenting classes. They're usually not that long, a month long, and once a week type thing. And you will learn something in there anyway. But you should try to do that there. Shannon. Okay, you're from Pennsylvania, so you're east side of Pennsylvania. I assume maybe you're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Your county is extremely corrupt. Well, I don't know what county it is. Yes, lots of ex parte communication. Parents need to file complaints with the clerk of courts and hold them accountable. Yes, you can file at the state level in Pennsylvania. And I'm so glad you told me where you're from. I'm trying to understand, though. You said east side, so I think you're talking about Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I just need a first name from you. Oh, your name is Bella. Thank you, Bella. Oh, that's easy to call you. I don't like the word BS, so I'm going to say Bella. And Shannon says, if I decline services and he since hasn't been at the home or anything, can they remove my children? Well, first of all, I need to know if you were charged. Do you have paperwork that said that you're charged with neglect or abuse? And if you don't know, you can go to the courthouse to the clerk and ask for a copy of all the records. Or you could ask your social worker in writing, am I being charged with anything? You need to flush them out. Yes, you need to flush them out right there. Also, I agree, CPS workers do lie. They lie all the time. And Felicia says, I was alone during the delivery. Well, that was sad. And if you knew about CPS, you would have asked the hospital staff that only certain people can come in your room. And you can ask them to leave the room. You could ask them to sit out in the lobby and they could sit there day after day, but you do not need to let them in your room. And you tell the hospital people. That's one of the arrangements. When you guys are going to get your baby delivered at the hospital, you need to make a list of who can come in that room. And it's certainly not social workers and police. And I'm sad, Felicia, you're alone because you should have had the father there. But like a lot of the fathers, I'm not saying all fathers, they're deadbeat dads. They don't take care of the children. They just want to make babies. They just want to make babies. They want the fun part of making babies. They don't want the hard part of stepping up and being a man and taking care of. See, I'm a family man. You know, I'm 75 years old. And I still have a young family and I still take care of. And I think of all of you as my family in this room. I want to take care of all of you. I cry when you cry or hurt when you hurt. I know what you're going through. I know how awful CPS has been to you. And I've been doing this for over a year. And I never miss a show. I'm on twice a day through holidays. I'm here for you. And I care about you. And I just want to offer you what worked for me, what I've learned, and so forth. Now, Margaret says, I was hoping Letitia would be on this morning. She had a late night last night. If you still have her phone number, would you be able to reach out to her before your next podcast today? Yeah, I can text her a message, Margaret. Yes, I can. I will try to reach out to her. Faye has her number too. Faye has her number too, and Faye will help out. She's in the room listening. Felicia says they took my daughter while I was still in the maternity. They claimed I had postpartum preeclampsia and had been pumping me with magnesium sulfate. It's basically Cervax juice to me. Yeah, I understand. And again, the CPS workers don't belong in your room. That's a hospital. You tell the hospital staff, the manager, the director, whoever's in charge of the hospital, to get the people out of there. You didn't give permission. They have to have a court order to even be in that room. Ask for that court order. Ask for the warrant. Hospitals are so bad because they believe everything. Shannon says, I've not been charged with anything. Well, if you've not been charged, you don't have to do the services. And if you have the children, protect them. Do not surrender them. And let the CPS deal with your husband or your ex-husband soon to be. Now, Bella says, I had my court-appointed attorney accountable because that is what courts want you to do. Why my county is so corrupt that the private attorneys also work with the courts and play golf with them. Yeah, I'm afraid that some private attorneys do. And I have an attorney here, Vincent Davis, who will talk to you for free for 15 minutes on a private Zoom consultation. All you have to do is be a guest on my podcast and talk on my podcast, or call me up on my phone number, which I need to put up there soon. And if you talk on my phone, that will also qualify you for a 15-minute private Zoom meeting with Mr. Davis, one of the top dependency lawyers in the country. Now, Shannon says the police wouldn't even get involved with my case. They wanted a forensic interview, and they declined the 4 times they asked them and said it wasn't enough evidence. Well, I'm glad your police are good with you, Shannon. That is really, really, really good. Margaret says, when CPS worker went to the hospital after my daughter had her baby, my daughter woke up with the social worker sitting right next to her waiting. Again, you tell the hospital that you did not invite that social worker. They need to be out of the room. You have the right. You're the insurance is paying for that room. You have the right to say who's in that room. That is wrong. That is wrong. And social workers do work in the hospital, but they're bad news because they're going to try to take your baby away. Okay, Felicia. Thank you so much. God bless you, Felicia. Keep fighting for your kids. And please join me again. That was Felicia Cruel that's leaving us right now. And Margaret, thank you. Thank you, Margaret, there. Now, I'm going to... whoops, I need to get Margaret's name taken down. Yeah. I'll be right there with you, Bella. I want to put up my... I got a name there, so... Yeah. I want to put my phone number. That is my phone number to call in right now. It's 626-698-0990. You can call in if you want to talk on my podcast this morning. I'd love to have you talk to me on my podcast. Now, Bella says, always send emails and request discoveries. Yes, you need to have a good documentation and paper trail, Bella. That's important there. That's important there. That's what Bella says. Also, Bella says, courts contact with private attorneys when they're understaffed. I have a strong case and I want to sue my county, CPS, the school district, the commissioners. I swear I dare to say RICO. You know, you can sue, but you have to sue when your case is closed. And you'll need an attorney to sue them. You need an attorney that sues them. You need an attorney. And Margaret is wishing Felicia Cruel a wonderful day. Thank you, Margaret. So my number's up, and you can call in at 626-698-0990. Now, we're at the end of my podcast. It's 9 o'clock, and I need to end my podcast. I've run over a couple minutes, and I want to thank all of you that have come in there. Margaret King from Merced, California. Bella, who is BS from Pennsylvania, I believe Philadelphia. Felicia from Ventura County in California. Thank you, Felicia. And Life with KK, who is Shannon from Washington. Did I leave anybody else? Oh, we have Faye from Richmond, Kentucky. Thank you for supporting me, Faye. and God bless you. And I hope your day goes really better today. As I say, we've had a lot of people this morning. I'm glad to have this crowd of people on this morning. And I think I've gone through everybody that's come into the room. But God bless you all. Keep fighting for your case. After I end my podcast, there'll be a brief message from Vincent Davis, and the show will start at 9:30. Please see his podcast. Please see his podcast. This is Bob Pace. Oh, Desiree Amber Fox, I have not forgotten about you. I never knew where you're from, but thank you, Desiree, for coming in this morning. So this is Bob Pace. Sign off. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Keep fighting for your children.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.